can't complain. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. Let's see, we have Mari. Mari is in. Oh, you're Mari Kraus. Let's see. Oh, there you are, Mari. I was like alphabetically, I was alphabetically challenged. Mari, where are you calling in from? Oop, Mari, do you have any audio? Not yet. I don't see a microphone on you. So if you want to join the computer audio or call in, that would be great. There you go. Amber Quinn is coming in. All right. And I see Catherine White. Hello, Catherine. Catherine, where are you calling in from today?
As if you don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Seattle, Washington area.
Yes. So Catherine is here with me in the epicenter of America of the coronavirus. We're going to begin in just a moment. Oh, let's see if this works. I'm going to try one more time. This, just so you know, but this will be recorded, so you can see it on playback. If it works, I'm going to try and live stream this too. And I have actually a cool new feature to show you. Haven't used it on any other program but this one. So let's try one more time. Zoom's Facebook feature sometimes works great, and sometimes it doesn't because it's kind of still new. Might not work today. Let's see. Okay, great. 12:03. Well, let's go ahead and start. Let's hop on in. There we go. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Let us begin. My name is John Chen. I'm the CEO of Geoteaming, and I will be your host today. You are in a session for virtual team building. And as you can see below, this is one of the coolest new features I actually learned in the last month, is that Microsoft PowerPoint actually has a feature that allows you to have live captions. So this is the first time that I'm using it. Please let me know if you see things that are not being interpreted correctly. I would love to know that. But this is great and as an accessibility feature for those who may not get all of my English colloquialisms correct. All right, so virtual team building. Today, I'm just going to go through a couple basics here. And the key basics I'm going to go with is the challenge with teams. Oh, look, this is actually going to go live. Fantastic. So the funny thing that you're going to get today is in the 60 minutes is trying to help you with your virtual teams, showing you ways that you can do team building and ways to maximize your online meetings. So I'm just going to go through a couple of the key challenges. You know, the key thing here about being online is that some of these team challenges haven't changed, but some of them might be harder in the virtual environment. So that's something that you might see with them. Here are some common challenges with teams. First one, of course, is communication. It turns out only 5.9% of all companies communicate their goals daily. If you want to be in the 94 top percent of all teams or all companies, all you have to do is send an email every morning communicating your team's goals, right? And so that's something that you can do. This communication, of course, sometimes gets harder while it's online, although now that you have rapt attention, sometimes it gets easier if you can get their attention while they're on meetings like this. So this is a key aspect or a key challenge with team building is communication. The next one is in collaboration. 39% of surveyed employees believe that their people in their organization, they don't collaborate enough. You know, I believe this to be true. I've actually run, when I run face-to-face team building in that old reality, over 80% of the teams I had, even though they were given a competitive and a collaborative goal, they only focused on the competitive piece and they did almost nothing with the collaboration piece. So that's what I see as interesting is that I felt that collaboration wasn't getting any better. Although since the coronavirus has started, it's interesting for my own business that people are now more than ever open to collaborating now that they have more time, I believe, or more space. So that's something to notice. The next one is an alignment. 97% of all employees and executives believe that the lack of alignment within a team impacts the outcome of a task or a project. You know, this is the part that you're going to notice, I hope, today on this program, is that if you have a lack of team alignment, you will not achieve your task or goal. And it's very easy to think you have team alignment until you actually try and execute it. So I think those are the key pieces in alignment. And of course, the number one challenge with teams, I bet, all have this right now. Work from home is mandated. We are 2 days in here in Seattle for our stay home, stay healthy order. And so working from home is at least a 14-day, if not greater reality for many. And I've actually had calls with people from Hungary and Slovakia, and they're all saying the same thing. They are all being sequestered to home and working from home. So what's my solution in all this? I'm going to give it to you in 4 easy letters, and this is kind of how I felt, especially when I had 10 programs get canceled. The acronym is GRR, right? G-R-R-R. So here are what the 4 letters stand for. These are the things that you need to have great virtual teams. Number 1 is goals. Really work on clarifying your goals with your teams. It is very easy to, again, think you have the same goals, but everyone is working on something different. It's also that we've had one of the largest disruptions in our history. And so you needed to reset your goals. And if you haven't done so since the coronavirus, it is a great time to double check your team's goals all the time. The next one is rules. As you see, as you move online, it's a little bit different here, and it just gets better if you could establish some rules. I'll give some examples for this, and you can see what rules work inside of your environment. The next piece here is rhythm. So really key to teamwork is establishing a new rhythm. Everybody's rhythm has been completely disrupted. And so if you want to be seen as a leader in your organization, it can be up to you to help establish this new rhythm. And when you do establish this rhythm, you should be able to notice what the next R stands for. And that's results. In the end, for those who are bottom line people, all that matters is results. And you want to look for those successes with your teams, because that's how you're going to build momentum again now that you've been disrupted. Again, I'm a big car fan. I'm now, last year I became the owner of a Porsche Boxster, and I watch a lot of the F1 videos on Netflix. If you can see here, this is what happens when a team has the right goals, they know the rules, and they're in rhythm. You can do things like this: 20 people who come around and they're able to do a complete change, fill a car full of gas, and they do it in less than 2 seconds. Those are the kind of results that you're looking for with your teams. So those are the key pieces that I really wanted to show. For me, I believe that my goal for this time is to help you host a productive team meeting and establish best team practices online. If you have any other additional goals, hopefully I'll learn about these as we go along. And so now I'm going to teach you the first team building principle. This is called Go Ahead Caller. And so while in face-to-face, it's sometimes easier to have a sidebar conversation, here in online land, you know that is much more difficult. If somebody starts talking, they're at the same level as everybody else. It's when somebody's dog's barking or their kids are there, which is now a reality. All those things can disrupt a meeting. And so Go Ahead Caller is a way for a lot of people can have a conversation without having to repeat things. So it really, you go a little slower to go faster with this. And this comes from my past life. I really dreamt about being a radio DJ at one time. And I used to love it when, like, you know, let me see if I can get this right. Oh, yes. When Rebecca from New Zealand calls into a radio station and I could be the radio DJ, I would say, oh, Rebecca from New Zealand, go ahead. So this is why it's called Go Ahead Caller. So what we're going to do is we're going to have everyone check in. You want to say your name, where you're from, and a challenge that you're dealing with teams now. Again, your name, where you're from, and a challenge that your team is dealing with now. If you are on video, oh, let me give the rules real quick. So this is an example of that. Hold on, there we go. So this is an example of the rules. So these are the rules that I'm going to establish here, establishing a speaking rule. So if you're visual, you can just raise your hand. If you're not, you can either hit me in the chat window, or you can unmute and say your name. If also you're crafty, you can actually click the Manage Participants button, and you can actually raise your hand. I can see that. And so I will acknowledge you and then establish a speaking order so that we can all get a chance to know each other. Okay, now let's begin. Who would like to begin? Oh, let's see, I may open up my chat window. Let's go with Lauren first, and then we'll go with Aaron in just a second. Lauren, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lauren Zurich. I live in the Boston area, actually in Lexington, home of the American Revolution. And let's see, probably the biggest challenge right now is that actually half my team has been virtual and the other half are in our Boston office. And so I would say that it's kids at home that's the challenge for whether they're virtual or local. Everybody's stressing because the schools are now closed until May 4th, I think, or something. So we talk about that daily. That's one of our work. It's our work challenge right now.
Thank you, Lauren. I was with the PR community, and apparently one of the people in that community has started doing homeschooling online. So I don't have a link for it, but you should look for it.
Okay.
But the other people are like, they're hiding in their office from their children. It's very funny. Okay, let's go. Aaron, if you have voice capability, Aaron, let's go ahead and introduce yourself. Oh, she's got kids running around. Okay, so wait, no voice. So I'll go in here. Aaron is from Toledo, Ohio. There's two. I've got kids running around, and I have a mix of workers watching from home and not working at all. Oh, not working for. I actually had another coworker who was talking about this. So thank you for that, Aaron. I'm going to go to Juliana and then Erica next. So let's see, Juliana, do you have any audio? She did at one point, I do believe.
Yes, I do have audio here.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I'm from São Paulo here in Brazil, and I work for the events industry, and now things have just freezed. So the challenge now is to keep the team up and productive, finding things for them to do so they are not bored. Besides the one that have kids running around, and all those are fun facts. So for the others to make sure that they are productive, that they are thinking, they are keeping up the pace, despite the fact that business are so slow right now.
Excellent. Thank you, Juliana. And I'll give you some resources. I've had actually the opportunity to play games with all my brothers and sisters and their kids last Sunday on a family happy hour. And that actually engaged the kids. So I'll show you one or two games that we can do for that. Thank you, Juliana. Let's go to
Lovely,
Rebecca.
thank you.
I say good morning. It's 8 o'clock in the morning over here in Hamilton, New Zealand. And yes, we're all like you. We're in a very rigorous lockdown over here. So we're in alert level 4. So this is day 2 also for us. So one of the challenges, I work for Fonterra, so we are New Zealand's largest dairy company and actually company in New Zealand. And some of the challenges for us at the moment is we've just gone through a very large restructure in December, which has, of course, impacted a lot of people and a lot of change. And my team specifically, our roles have changed considerably. And so we're now going through this forming, storming, norming, and now we're having to do it virtually. So your point earlier about goals, absolutely bang on. I need to make sure that I'm really focused on their goals and giving role clarity, I think. But yeah, also just we're quite used to working virtually, but not all of us all at once. So yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Rebecca. What I heard in there too is that your company just restructured. So there's nothing like a lot of change on top of a lot of change. That's really a challenge factor with that. Rebecca too, if you can either lean into your microphone, I'm not sure your setup, but this is something that's really important now. Your environment now becomes really important because this is all we have. And so things to think about, number one is your backdrop. Right? There are virtual backdrops you're starting to see, but you can also construct this. This is actually designed specifically for me. There's the microphone that you're using. I will put it in a link, but you can actually hook up external microphones and if you can hopefully hear hopefully coming loud and clear over to you. I actually have lights inside of here in this room too. And I also have 3 screens here. So these are things to think about your setup. If you know it's going to be longer and longer that you're going to work from home, studies have already shown that having 2 or 3 screens can increase your productivity over 40%. So thank you so much for that. Erica's had
I just want to let you know, if I can just share, sorry, I do have to drop off the call at 8:30, but I'm super keen to pick up any further recording. So my setup this morning's not great because I'm sitting in my lounge on my cell phone. So I'll be prepared next time.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Thank you for joining us. We hope we'll see you next time. Let's go to Erica. She's had her hand up.
Hello, I'm Erica Manchado. I'm from California. And so I'm actually a professor at a community college in California. And we've gone virtual. We're on day 10 of being fully virtual. And so we've extended it the whole semester. But one of the problems we're looking at is, okay, now what about summer? Are we planning to be virtual for summer? Are we planning to be physical? And so trying to plan out all kinds of possibilities for summer is kind of where we're struggling right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, both of my kids came home from school, McAllister in Minnesota and University of Puget Sound in Tacoma. And by the way, Erica, I'm originally from California. My hometown is Stockton, California.
Nice. Bakersfield.
Yes, I know, Bakersfield. So yeah, let's see if we can help you with that. And in the chat window, Erica, if you get a chance, like talk about the challenge of what summer specifically brings to you, if you can. Let's see. So Mari says she doesn't have a voice either. Mari Kraus is from Portland, Oregon. This is the first time my team and I have worked remotely, so our challenge is trying to establish a rhythm in this new work environment. That's absolutely correct. Mari, also, you can participate in this with the chat window, so make sure and keep that active. I believe I saw Catherine's hand go. Go ahead.
Hi, Catherine White over in the Seattle, Washington area. And I'm a solopreneur, so I don't have to worry about a team in the workforce. But what I think this would be really great for me would be in the area of my team at home, meaning my 4 children. So, and how do we work together as a team and create a rhythm of my children being home from school and I'm working from home, and everybody's just kind of stuck here and on top of each other.
Stuck at home. This seems to be a common call. Like, if I guess I could just solve the homeschooling, I think I may have another business. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Catherine. Let's see, who called in on 503? Is that the same person or is that a new person? So if you called in by phone with 503-8888-5596, go ahead and unmute and let me know who that is. All right, we'll see if we can find out. Oh, okay, good. That's Mari. Okay, great. So let me do this. I'm going to rename her. This is a key Zoom function that you guys should know that will help you. This is Mari Kraus. And so now, if those on screen can now see her. Excellent. Is there anybody who hasn't gone? I believe that somebody who hasn't gone yet, or I missed one.
Oh, I don't know if you can all hear me. My name is Amber, and Mary from Portland is my coworker, and we have that. It's very similar. That establishing a rhythm. Our folks work customer service, and so generally at a desk helping people. And this is the first time that we've all worked remotely, and so finding things for them to do when they would normally be doing tasks in a physical location, and then again establishing that rhythm for how to work remotely.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Amber. Now let me see. I'm miscounting. I'm trying to make sure I got somebody. So let's go. Let's see. I got Amber. I have Catherine. I have Erica. Is Erica still here? Right? Yes, I got Erica. I have Aaron. Oh, we have somebody new just joined in. That's great. I have Juliana. I have Lauren. Oh, I know why. Mary's on here twice, right? Oh, you have an audio and a video. There we go. Okay, and who's AWIL IA293? Who is that? Annette Williams. Annette Williams, is that you? She may not have audio yet. Okay, great. I do believe that's her, so we'll wait for her to log in. I'll continue on while I wait for her audio to catch up. Okay, good. Now I do believe I have everybody. So one of the key pieces now is, you saw this, is that we got a chance to practice rules here. So this is a go ahead caller, and now you get a chance to see how this works and how useful it is to be able to see, or just have everyone get a chance to air voice while you're on a call like this. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to teach you here is the what's called back channel chat. So I believe one of the greatest things that you can do next after teaching, just having a speaking order, is to introduce the back chat, or to introduce the back channel chat. And the reason for doing this is that it both gives extroverts an opportunity to think out loud without disturbing the rhythm. I also believe that it involves introverts, where they're consuming all this information, and once they have a crystalline thought that comes to them, they can get it out before they forget what it is. So this is all you do in the back channel chat. So number one is that you show people the chat window. You encourage them to use it when others are speaking. And you can really get some creativity and some engagement inside here with the back channel chat. So what we're going to do here is, on the chat, is that you're going to chat either your LinkedIn profile or your work URL. And if you don't have any of those handy, well, then chat me something else. But those are the two ideally that you could do. So here I'm chatting mine now. That's my LinkedIn profile. Okay, Aaron is in. Aaron, you're fast. We're waiting for others. Lauren is in. Thank you, Lauren. Catherine is in. And Annette Williams, if you do have some audio, you can call in with your phone if your computer audio is not working. If not, you're just going to probably observe. Catherine's in. Erica and Amber are in. Rebecca has to jump off. Sorry. Thank you, Rebecca. Juliana is in. Five. Oh, Juliana, here we go. Juliana is in. Yes. And by the way, I have a no sorry zone, right? Which is like everybody's saying sorry for all the stuff that they're not in control of. You can stop that around me, right? It's not your fault, and it's totally okay. So let's see, Mari's in. Was Rebecca in? Yes. Oh, Rebecca has to leave, so she is out. And do I have everybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because this is the same. And not here. Okay, great. So we have the back channel. So now you understand how that works, and now you have the back channel here. You can establish this, and you guys can have your own sidebar conversations as you like while presenting. In many conversations or other webinars that I get on, I start chatting even if they tell me not to, and I end up finding out who's there, if anybody's really there. And it turns out most of the time, the people that I meet sometimes are more interesting than the presenter, because I get to meet all these people online. So the chat is something that really look to use. It can help maximize your time, because you really have only this one channel, one person can speak, but quite often in chat, it can happen simultaneously, especially with large groups, right? You can really figure that out and how to maximize that. So some of these things, again, will only work in a certain numbers, like a vocal check-in. Works to like 20, maybe 30, it depends how much time you have. But if you don't have that time, you can actually use something like this, a chat check-in. And those really are things that can help you establish, which is our next topic, which is about rhythm. Okay. So now I'm going to talk to you about rhythm, and I really want you to preface this by playing both doctor and patient. And what I mean by that, in patient, you're going to be like a participant in a team building event. And what I mean by doctor is, I want you to notice the dynamics that are happening with you and possibly with others, because this is a great short example of what can happen with either aligned or misaligned teams. The assignment I'm going to give you as a group is that you need to chat A to Z. You can only do it one letter at a time. So again, Amber can't say A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, and try and hit return. You can't chat twice in a row. So in other words, after Catherine goes, Catherine can't go again. She has to wait for Erica or Lauren, okay? So if you repeat a letter or you miss a letter, you have to start over. And while you're chatting, you can't talk. So if you start with the letter A, you can't talk until either you missed a letter, you repeated a letter, or you actually complete it to Z successfully. At the end, if you miss any of those, you can actually talk, right, until somebody chats A again to start. While you have your mics on, does anybody want to ask me any questions? Go ahead and say your name if I can't see you.
Yeah, this is Lauren. I don't know that I quite get it. We each, like we do like a tag team chat, A, B, C, D?
Yes, it has to be different people chatting A, B, C, right?
Okay.
Not just one person. Does that help, Lauren?
Okay, so I can do A, B, but the next person does B? Sorry, I'm like not getting it, so.
Yeah, it has to be somebody else.
Like a tag team, a relay race.
Yes.
Okay.
That could be an app metaphor. Okay, great. Any other questions?
Yes, this is Catherine.
Go ahead, Catherine.
So if two people jump in and type, 2 or 3 people at once type the same letter, we start over? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So we have to work as a team to make sure this doesn't happen.
Yes.
I think tag teaming is a good idea.
Other questions about the rules? Okay, if you don't have any other questions, we'll begin whenever somebody chats A. And again, I believe that's Annette Williams. So Annette Williams does not have her microphone. So we'll have to see if she can join in. Let's see, we got A, B, C, D, and then we got Apple again. So that's a restart. Yes, we got 2 Bs from Aaron and Catherine. Amber has started again. Smiley face from Aaron. We got 2 E's. have to remember that Annette doesn't have any microphone currently. We haven't established contact with her. Okay.
This is stressful.
Thank you, Lauren.
So we're allowed to use the microphone?
No.
No, sorry about that.
Remember, you can't use the mic while you're chatting A to Z. Or to the letter P. Or to the letter T. Bravo.
Yay!
For those who don't know, this is sign language for applause. This is something that's really useful on Zoom, right? So it's very visual, doesn't have to interrupt there. Woohoo! All right, so you have completed the task. I'll give you guys some commentary, but I'd love to hear from you first. So what was that like to be a participant in this experience? Just go ahead and either raise your hand or unmute and say your name. Let's go to Catherine, and we'll go to Lauren after this because she gave some commentary in the middle. So we'd love to get that. So Catherine, go ahead.
I felt pressure, and I wasn't sure if I remembered the alphabet. What is the alphabet again? What if I typed the wrong letter?
Yeah, you think that's bad, right, for you, Catherine, because you're here in the States. But imagine my friend in Slovakia, she had to go to the internet and looked at the American alphabet and going, do I know the American alphabet, right? So these are biases we have to think about, right? I do a lot of diversity and inclusion training. These are things that we have to think about. Specifically for you, Catherine, too, I want to ask you, you chatted Annette who wasn't here. What happened?
But I thought she responded at one point. Didn't, because Amber typed a letter and then she typed the same letter and we had to start over.
Is that true? Did anybody see that? I don't know if I saw. I'm trying to see. I'm looking.
Oh no, I guess it was Amber.
Yeah, it was Amber.
Amber said go Annette, and then Amber said, okay, I read that wrong.
See, this is what I'm trying to talk to you about virtual team building. It is very easy to make a lot of different mistakes, right? And it's very hard, like somebody who's here is probably listening in, but she's probably going, what's going on, right? And has no idea that a teammate is waiting for her. And it was really actually, if I look here on my statistics side, a lot of time was spent there waiting. And that's something that's very easily to happen with teams that are not aligned, is that you think you're waiting on someone and they don't know they're waiting. And so you go to a deadlock, right? And you become very inefficient for a period of time. Catherine, thank you so much for sharing that. Lauren, can you share what was happening with you?
Yes. Oh, sorry. I just had to do a blurt out. I'm sorry.
No, that's the pressure was building, you right? That's what I felt from you, Lauren. Is that right?
Yes, and I decided not to do it in the chat. I was on mute and I went off. But I want to give kudos to Catherine and Aaron, because you guys are the ones that came up with the process, the go name. But then it was like, oh my God, I don't know the names. And Juliana, sorry, I spelled your name wrong a couple times, but but yeah, I think it, it was. I think also it was like getting to know. We both all had brief introductions. So yes. It was sort of like, oh my God, what are the names, kind of thing. So it was the pressure of the letter and the name.
This happens in classic team building, right? If you don't do the bonding and you try and do some work, it doesn't go very fast. In fact, you get problems. And also, this is the new online. So me using your name, Lauren, we know as a vocal thing, right? But people spelling people's names, some people have a great sensitivity to that. I have a friend named Kathy, but she spells it with an E, and like everybody gets it wrong so much that she actually had a slide made up, like when she speaks, that my name is Kathy with an E, right? And so it's a new way. Like if you really want to make sure that you are creating connection with your audience, you have to pay attention for these extra things. I would like to go to Mari. Do you still have audio, right, with your phone? I'd love to hear from you, and then I have an observation to share. Go ahead. Mari, do you have any audio? Oh, she's chatting away. That's right. I left a few comments, but it was so stressful. Okay, great. I ended up writing everyone's name down, so I had a list to pull up. Right. I mean, that's kind of what you do. And so actually, that's a great, Mari, you developed basically the same system I did 20 years, and I'm going to show you in just a second what that looked like. What I think I discovered, Mari, is that you chatted somebody else's name. You had established a pattern to go one way, and then I think you chose somebody else's name. I think there was a pattern trying to be established, and then it got changed. And so I don't know for the others who got the recipient of that. I think, it's better when because you can expect that. But if a teammate accidentally or on purpose changes it, you have to now change that. Because I know other people who are like planners, they look at their letters and the number of people, and they strategize what letter they have for that. And I want to go back to Lauren's comment, which is, the pressure is real. The number one word that Catherine and I have been doing some other calls with business leaders, the number one word we get back from people is anxiety, right? Dealing with coronavirus is anxiety. And so this pressure that you felt here is the same pressure the teams that you are working with virtually, they're having anxiety about being online, and then they're having, you know, anxiety about the coronavirus. It's like what Rebecca was talking about earlier. How about we restructure the company, right? And then have the coronavirus, and then tell your restructured company to work online, right? That's a recipe for challenge, if anything. And if you could get through it with challenge, you know, with grace, that would be somewhat of a miracle. Does anybody have any other comments, like something that they learned from this, or something that they would do different based upon what they learned here? See, Erica or Amber or Juliana, do you guys have any commentary? Amber shakes her head. Juliana or Erica? Oh, Catherine, hold on one second. Let's see. Juliana, do you have anything that you like to add? You can unmute and say no. She's probably got the phone.
I'm here. No, I just wanted to say that I stuck with Mary, and all the time came to me, I just passed through to Mary. So I knew I just had to type Mary, and then it goes on. That's it.
You know, what's great about that, Juliana, is that that's what a lot of people have told me about this experience, is like, I think I have to focus on everything, right? And it's too confusing. But if I can focus on one thing, I can do my job well. And I think that's a very astute observation. Juliana, like, I know we don't have video camera from you, but somebody else who looked like they were having challenges with this too, later on they reported back to me. And so they actually reported back to the group was, while this game was going on, they had 2 kids that were hungry come through, a dog, right? The cat walked forward. Because our camera was off, we didn't know. We had no idea. And so that's something for you as a leader of these groups, to trying to figure out how to check in. Catherine, do you have another observation you want to share?
Yeah, I see this with teams quite often where they, especially if it's a competition, they want to just jump in, dig in, and get started without any kind of plan. And what happens is exactly what we did when we had the double letters, and then we had to go back and start over again. So for teams to be able to recognize from the get-go, let's collaborate here, and let's create a plan together so that we're all on the same page and we create that rhythm and save the hassle of having to start over.
Each of you have a new possibility. One of the things that Bill Gates said about the coronavirus is that it's the great level. It doesn't care what race or gender or age, or, well, I guess it cares a little bit about age, but you can get it. And so what I'm also saying around this, in virtual leadership, it doesn't matter what your title or position or where you are right now. It kind of has leveled the playing field. And so I'm glad you're here, because each of you can show up as a leader, right? In your calls. You can just offer, say, hey, I don't want to lead, but do you mind if I facilitate? And if you use some of these techniques and the meeting goes smoother, you will immediately be seen as a new leader online. And I believe that that's a skill that's really, really important and well needed. Because I can tell you, in only out of the 8 calls that I've had of this team building session, has there only been one session, a woman from Detroit, Michigan, imagine that. She came in there and she established an entire system with the group that she had no idea that she has these natural leadership skills and it's one of the groups that actually has the fastest times. So let me just share a little of my observations with you. So this is A to Z, and I just want to show you how important rhythm is, right? When you don't have a rhythm, you will have a lot of rework, miswork, and redos. But when you have rhythm, it's amazing what your team can do. It can move faster, you can produce results, and it's up to you to help create what this new rhythm is. There's a couple ways to do that. And one of the ways is start and end each meeting the same, whatever it is for you, whether it's a check-in, right? And you'll see I have a way to close this meeting. Look for ways to have those capstones at the start and end. That's how you build rhythm. The next is then find a rhythm for sharing or solving information. So what's the rhythm for each person who is presenting, and how do you work together as a team to solve challenges and really right now make decisions? That's the most important reason why you should be talking together. The next piece is then bring your culture online. People are looking for something familiar. So if you used to have something like you had a mascot that was a bear or whatever your culture is, bring it online somehow. Right? And if you don't have the culture that fits online, make it. I got a chance to visit Zappos last year, and they do this amazing thing. Once you pass their 4 weeks of training, they bring you in with all your coworkers and your family and your kids, and they announce them like NBA players across the stage and blow confetti, and that's part of their culture. That's when you know you got inside the company. You can invent all sorts of types of things that are culture online that will work, and you just need to know that it works for your organization. Oh, so the last piece I'm going to give around here is for you. Rhythm creates results. And for you, you guys have completed in 6 minutes, 48 seconds. It took you 6 minutes and 48 seconds. But let me tell you one thing. So I'm going to tell you that's not the fastest time. But you are the first team to develop a system with no audio. If you remember the rules, you could talk between A to Z when if you stop, right? If you got stuck or you did double letters, you could talk, but you didn't use that opportunity. But you did find, in using the chat window, a way to establish a system and communicate. You're the first team to do that, so kudos to you. So the next piece that I'm going to show you was a behind the scenes. Now, you might have guessed what was going on, but somebody said she wrote down all the names. This right here is my participation map. It came with the registration list, and then I was able to check in who actually called in, and I could change as people went out or in. I could see that you were participating. It also showed me that Juliana hadn't, for instance, talk in A to Z, that I gave her a chance, and that, let's see, of course, Amber, she was able to visually just give me a no, like I don't have anything to add, but at least she knows that I checked in with her. This participation map is really key, is if you know, you're at the 50-minute mark in this meeting, and I hope that I've had your engagement for these 50 minutes. This is one of the ways that I do it and make sure that I'm engaging each person individually. So that's the participation map. We're getting last here into the results. So you can see when you have the 4 things, right? Goals, rules, rhythm, that you get results. And that result is you being able to complete the task. And I bet now that you know this task, you could complete it even faster, especially if I told you the fastest time was 1 minute and 30 seconds. So the results here, I want you to have successful online meetings, the ability to get work done under very challenging conditions. I want to help you lead your company. I want you to be seen as your leader, not only in your company, but in your community. One of my very good friends attended one of these sessions. He used it to create 2 community groups, one for him in Dallas and one back for his college alumni, which had not talked in a long time. And he said it was a huge benefit. That was in reconnecting back to all those people. And they all thanked him because he was the conduit. He was the conduit for a new way to help. So again, let's now go through. The solution here had 4 letters. So if you want to unmute, or you can chat me if you got it. What is the first letter for? What does the first letter stand for? Bueller, anyone? What does G stand for?
Goals.
There we go. Thank you. Goals. Okay. Somebody who was not the one who chatted or talked, what's the R for? The first R.
This is Amber. Rules.
Yes, thank you, Amber. What's the next R?
Rhythm.
Yes, that is the rhythm. And the last R, anybody who hasn't spoken yet? As you discover, I'm the most patient facilitator you ever met.
Results.
There we go. Gotcha. Goals, rules, rhythm, results. When you have these, this is my solution to team building, right? And we talked about results. I just want to give you one example of results that from here in our hometown in Seattle, Washington. Canlis is a 4-star dining restaurant. And on March 6th, when they saw what was coming down the line, they changed their entire business model. This is a 3-generation restaurant. They changed their entire business model in a week. Times are changing, and so are we. We're shutting down our dining room and bringing the food out to you because fine dining is not what Seattle needs right now. Instead, this is one idea for safely creating jobs for our employees while serving as much of the city as we can. This is what they did. They created a drive-through. We're talking about a 4-star restaurant. They created bagels, spreads, breakfast sandwiches. They have a drive-through at lunch where you can get a burger or a veggie melt. And now you can ask for a home-cooked dinner and a bottle of wine delivered to your doorstep. Doesn't that sound incredible? Well, what's the results of this? 3 days ago, this was the press photo that was given. Canlis had a line down the street waiting for their drive-through food. 3 days ago, their breakfast at 10:06 had sold out. It's possible, people. For all of us who have had 10 to 100% of our business canceled, it's possible. And I'm going to tell you today, I have two deals now on my table that are very close to being green lighted, that tell me that my new business model is possible. And I want to hear that story from you. That's a result. So this is virtual team building. The only thing I can really ask for you, if you got value for this, please help others and tell others about this. You can go to geoteaming.com now/virtual team building, and they can sign up for any of the future sessions. And now I'm going to show you how to close meetings. So in this closing, I just want you to share something that you got out of today's program. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Let's hear from others who would like to go. Again, you can raise your hand or you can unmute your mic and say your name. And Mari can chat because I know she's an awesome chatter.
Well, I can go, Juliana here.
Yes.
Some insights for rhythm. I think this is so important. So some insights for rhythm were just great. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, Juliana, and I hope to see you on the Global Meetings Day. I know there's like a 12-hour broadcast. I will be on it. I hope you are too. Who else would like to go?
I remember here. I really liked the exercise. It was stressful, mostly for me because in my mind I kept thinking I don't want to leave anyone out. I want to make sure everyone gets an equal, opportunity, and we're not going back to like the same 2 or 3 people. So just like recognizing that piece of it as I work with my team and making sure kind of that checking in with everyone. And then the other component that I like that you talked about was clarifying what the goals are, and whether it's like emailing, communicating those goals daily, or whatever time frame works for people. But for me, I thought that would, for my team, especially as they're trying to get established and figure out what they're going to do from day to day and potentially week to week, just keeping those goals really clear and communicating those out, that was important for me to hear. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amber. Number one, you really got the diversity and inclusion part, right? It's a new kind of diversity, right? Some of it is technological now, right? And so, and you can see the different levels of technology even on this own call. You have to be conscious and aware of it. And I love that your internal sense is saying, how can I include those people? I mean, that's where Catherine, I think maybe her innate sense was trying to say, how can we get this person in who hasn't, yet connected with us? And so I think that's a key piece. Second small piece too, Amber, you have a mic. You can actually move it closer towards your mouth and you'll find out that the little boom mic, yeah, if you move that closer, that will actually be a great boon to the people you're speaking with. Go ahead and try it.
Right. How does that sound better?
The world away, Amber. I just got to tell you, the world away. So thank you so much for that. Who would like to go next? Go ahead, Lauren.
I think to kind of build on Amber's, the thing about the goals is that, I mean, my team, we're IT, so we're support. So one of the things is, in order to get the whole company, I mean, it wasn't just my team, but it's because we're a bigger department, but to get the company working from home and get everything settled in, the goal, I would say the short-term goals kind of overwrote all of the long-term stuff. So now I feel like I need to like take another look again and kind of like revamp, just kind of like reassess, okay, we got through these first 2 weeks now, we're trying to get back to the bigger projects, but everybody's had a little bit of leeway now for the last couple of weeks. So to focus on the goals, and I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, one of the things I did, I just want to add to one thing I introduced to my team, well, we're going to do a virtual happy hour next week, but But we also, I did Poll Anywhere, which you can do for free. And
Yes.
people seem to like that as kind of to bring people together, to kind of break the ice kind of thing. So I'll just throw that one out. But
Thank you, Lauren. If you can chat that in the
Oh,
poll
yeah.
everywhere. I have used
Poll
that.
everywhere.
I've actually written about it in my book here, and it
Oh.
is something very easy because it's text message based. Is why I think it's very inclusive. I tried it over Twitter, and that was yeah, people didn't know, but text is almost 100% of the people know how to text. Also, Lauren, if you want, you're always invited to my happy hour Wednesday and Friday every 5 o'clock. If you want to see someone try and run a chaotic happy hour. By the way, I throw all the books out for everything I taught you here. We actually violate all the rules on our happy hour, and it's actually
Love it. That's good though.
Lauren, I actually want to add one other comment too. It was great foresight for you to say that you relaxed after people got through that challenge, that you didn't push on them on top of the pushing. That space that you gave your team is really going to pay off. So compliments to you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Anybody else? Let's see. Mari, I think you chatted. I believe this is the idea of communicating goals daily is something I'm going to start implementing. I would love to hear your results. It will be a great way for us to be on the same page every day, and it'll hopefully prevent unclear expectations from my staff. We come from the hospitality business. I watch a lot of Hotel Impossible. Every morning they do a stand-up. You want to be successful, you do a stand-up. It's only 10 minutes, but you hit the highlights. A wedding's here, this big event's here, VIP, right? And so follow that same premise here online, and I believe you'll be very successful. Erica, do you have anything else that you would like to add? I got a lull from you.
Yeah, no, this was good. Just kind of meeting new people. And so this is how most people feel, right? Like in a team, trying to get to know each other, the norming, storming, forming, I forget the order, but you know which ones I'm talking about. So it's just a good refresher of what it feels like to be in a new team, especially in a new environment. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Yeah, we used to call them the Orman brothers, or you call them the Orman sisters, right? So it's norming, storming, forming, performing, and then there's also something else about dispersing. I forgot the correct name for it. Yeah, you can see that people are going to go through those stages here. It is a useful guide for that. And you really want to look for the storming stage. When your group pushes back on you or gets angry about something, I've been telling a lot of people about mental health in this time, right? You really got to watch for that. We're at the breaking point, or we're slightly past the breaking point for a lot of people and a lot of teams. And if you as a leader are aware of that, you can help them get through it so they can go back and being productive again. Catherine, I believe you haven't gone yet.
Well, I really loved that exercise. It was such a simple exercise, yet it wasn't. I mean, it created a lot of pressure. So it was a very great exercise to use in this type of format.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Catherine. For each of you, within a day, I'm going to send you a link to the broadcast as well as everything that was in the chat here. And I'm also going to send you the first 3 links to my chapter and my book, and a few other resources that we talked about on this call. But most of all, thank you so much for your time. I hope that you got something really key out of this. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Oh, by the way, too, you now qualify for virtual team building too. So you'll also get a link for that. It is every Wednesday through April, and it's only people who have graduated from this class. And we do a lot more initiatives very quickly. So if you want to see that, I'll look forward to seeing you there. But most of all, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.
Okay, thank you, Jen. Thanks, everyone. Great to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. If you'd like to chat with me, you're more than happy to stay on if you have any other additional questions. If you need to log off, go ahead.